In this video I'm going to show you how you can quickly become a natural at using the teleprompter without looking like a big plank of wood. I'm Jack, and over the last 5 years I've run a video agency, and in that time we've worked with hundreds of business owners creating videos for their business. Most of the videos we've produced have involved the business owner or an employee talking to the camera, and a teleprompter is often used to help them get through the script. What I quickly learned is that using a teleprompter isn't a skill that most people naturally have, and I'm no different. In my first videos I look like I have a stick up my arse. When most people use a teleprompter for the first time without any training, this is often how it looks. So you can tell right away that I'm reading, it doesn't feel natural, and there's no authenticity or emotion. The video is just going to be really boring and not very engaging. So today I'll share my top tips to help you talk to the camera with a teleprompter confidently and naturally. But first, why even use a teleprompter? If you're an expert on the topic and you know what you want to say, can't you just speak to the camera without using a teleprompter that's telling you what to say? Well, this approach can of course work, and some people prefer to just write out bullet points and outline what they're going to say and then just speak to the camera, and this can work very well. But if you're anything like me and most of the business owners I've worked with, you'll find it much easier and just much more efficient to write out exactly what you want to say and then use a teleprompter to help you deliver it. Also, by writing out what you want to say, you can read through it and make sure that you've not missed anything important out. A big drawback for me personally when not using a teleprompter is I'll waffle on and take longer to get to the point, and that will make the edit much longer because we need to cut it right down to make what I'm saying more concise. I also find that when I'm using the teleprompter, I don't need to overly think about what I'm going to say, and I can instead focus on my delivery and make it as engaging as possible. And finally, if you're someone who's not used to talking to the camera, you might just find it intimidating. Although you may be an expert on the subject you'll be talking about, it's very easy to forget what you want to say the moment the lights and the camera are all turned on and pointed at you. So a teleprompter is really going to help you deliver your message with confidence. So let's get into my top tips to help you use a teleprompter. Tip 1, read the script out loud before filming. This might sound like an obvious one, but you won't believe how many people skip this step. It's so important to practice reading out your script a few times, and there's 2 reasons for this. The first is obvious: you need to be familiar with the script and know the order of talking points and the outline of what you're going to say. The last thing you want is to look surprised when an unexpected sentence pops up on the teleprompter. The second reason for reading your script out loud is that the way you write something down and the way you say it will be different. You might write something down that looks really good on paper, but the moment you try to say it out loud, it feels clunky and isn't actually how you naturally speak. So we need to write the script that matches our natural cadence and tone of how we actually speak. If you try to deliver lines that don't feel natural, it will sound forced and very obvious to the viewers that you're reading from a script. So practice reading your script out loud, 1 paragraph at a time, and then change any sentences to how you would actually say them. Don't skip this step because it's going to make it so much easier for you when it comes to filming. Tip 2, act out the tone and emotion that every sentence is meant to convey. Now you're comfortable reading your script out loud, it's time to practice adding emotion. The biggest rookie mistake I see when people use a teleprompter is they read the words on screen without adding any emotion or tonality. And this is what it looks like. If you deliver your script in a monotone voice without any emotion, people will lose interest. So practice reading your script and add in emotion. If you're excited about something, then speed up the pace and appear more animated. If you find something funny, then talk with a smile. If you're building up to an important point, lean in and appear more engaged. This doesn't need to be over the top, and you're most likely not a trained actor who can cry on cue. These emotions can be subtle, and most importantly, it should be the natural emotions that you would convey when talking. So read through your script out loud and practice adding in emotion. Tip 3, look away from the teleprompter and add pauses. Now this will take a bit of practice, but if you can get good at this, you're going to appear so much more natural on camera. Another common mistake we see when people use a teleprompter for the first time is they glue their eyes to the teleprompter and never look away. And I've been guilty of this myself. In my older videos, my eyes are locked to the screen because I was scared to look away in case I missed a word or messed up a sentence. And of course, talking and never looking away isn't how we would naturally speak to another person, so we shouldn't speak to the camera that way. Imagine you were talking to someone and the entire conversation you locked eyes with them and you didn't look away once. Pretty quickly that person would call the police. So we need to glance away from the teleprompter from time to time when we're talking. Remember, we're trying to create the illusion that we're speaking naturally without a teleprompter. So think of it this way: have you ever done public speaking when you have your notes in front of you? You don't just stare and read from your notes without looking away. You might glance at your notes and then try to make eye contact with the audience to engage them. When looking away from the teleprompter, you're doing the exact same thing. You read the word, then you glance away for a moment and then you look back, even if it's just for a split second. A good way of practicing this while reading from the teleprompter is just to imagine that you're speaking to someone. When it feels natural to look away, that's when you do it. And the better you get at doing this, you can even make it look like you're thinking about what you're going to say next. Just practice and it'll get easier the more you do it. So now you know how to use a teleprompter. Watch this video here to learn the first and most important video you should make for your business.